Hi, I'm Cora, and I guess you could say that my life has been far from ordinary. I didn't have the most conventional childhood, to say the least. My dad, well, he was a criminal, involved in all sorts of shady activities. Theft, embezzlement, abuse, you name it. As for my mom, she had her own struggles and was eventually sent to a mental institution when I was just a kid. That left me bouncing around foster homes, one after the other, never really finding a place to call home. When I turned 18, I decided I had enough of that life. I moved out on my own, determined to make a better future for myself. I hustled with side gigs and odd jobs to make ends meet, and despite all the challenges, I managed to put myself through community college. It was not much, but it was a start. It was during those college days when I met my now husband, Ian. We bumped into each other at the public library one evening. I remember the day we met like it was yesterday, in the nerdiest way possible. I was struggling with a project, and little did I know that moment would change my life forever. Ian was sitting right next to me, and he seemed like a computer genius. I was not hesitant. "Excuse me, I hate to bother you, but do you know anything about coding in Python?"
"Oh, Python? Yeah, I know a bit. What do you need help with?"
"Great! I'm stuck on this Python script. It's supposed to analyze some social survey data, but I can't seem to figure out the syntax."
"No problem at all. I would be happy to help. Let us take a look at your code."
"Thank you so much for helping me with this, by the way. I'm Cora, by the way."
"Ian, nice to meet you. Cora, what's your major?"
"Oh, it's sociology."
"So, what got you into coding? It's not the most common subject for a sociology major."
"Well, it's a long story. I don't have a wide range of skills, for the job market. I don't have the means to afford another course, and I need to get a job because if I don't, I could end up on the streets." I was trying to make a joke out of my situation, but it was a real problem. Ian worriedly asked me, and then we got talking. Ian was different. He did not just listen, he understood. He did not judge me for my past or the absence of my parents in my life. Instead, he showed me empathy and genuine concern. It was in the way he looked at me as if he saw beyond my history and into the person I wanted to be. He was like a breath of fresh air in my life, a contrast to the traumatic past I had left behind. Ian was everything I was not used to. He was smart, kind, and had a future so bright it could blind you. He was pursuing a degree at Princeton University, studying something that was way over my head, but I loved hearing him talk about it. Our love story started pretty quickly. Ian and I had been dating for a year, and it felt like we could just not get enough of each other. It was like those cheesy rom-coms, but real life. We found ourselves a cute little apartment that quickly became our love nest. Our days were filled with goofy laughter, late-night talks, and heaps of plans of our future. We were both very ambitious individuals. Little did we know that a twist of fate was lurking just around the corner, ready to change our lives forever. I found out I was pregnant. I was terrified to break the news to Ian, fearing he would abandon me like so many others had in my life. But when I finally gathered the courage to tell him, he surprised me in the most incredible way. "Ian, there's something I need to tell you."
"Cora, you look worried. What's wrong?"
"I am pregnant."
"Pregnant? Wow, that's unexpected."
"Ian, I understand if you are not ready for this. I did not plan for it either, but..."
"Cora, stop. I know we made a lot of plans, and this might not have been what we expected, but it does not change how I feel about you."
"But I needed to build a comfortable life for myself first. I have no savings."
"But you know what, Cora? Your life being your priority is your need. But what do you want? I love you, and I'm here to support you. If you want to keep the baby, I'm all in. If not, it's fine too. It's your choice."
If I'm being honest with myself, I want to keep our baby.
"None of those plans matter more than you and our baby. I promise to support you through all of this. Here's an idea. What if we moved to Nashville, closer to my mom's place? I could find a job there, and she would be thrilled to help us."
"Ian, I'm ready. Let's do it." So there we were, two dumb young adults who thought they could raise a baby. But if you know what? I won't spoil the story by telling you whether it worked out or not. You have to wait a bit more. So we decided to elope and had a secret wedding. We got a little apartment in Nashville. Ian ditched college, which bummed me out because I thought I ruined his Princeton dream, but it seemed as if he wasn't too torn up about it. He had mentioned how both he and his mom wanted him to go to Princeton. so I felt guilty for taking away his dream, but he quickly found a pretty good paying job, and all of this happened in just 2 months. Ian's family consisted of his mom, Lillian, and his sister, Kinsley. His dad, well, he passed away when Ian was just a teenager. He had a heart condition. Ian never really talked about it, but I could tell it still affected him deeply. Lillian and Kinsley were incredibly protective of him, and Ian had been keeping away everything from them. Then came the day we had to tell his mother everything.
Well, I finally get to meet you, Cora. Ian talks so much about you. You know, he is 23, and you're the first girlfriend he's ever brought home. He's always been so shy.
Mom, there's something I need to tell you.
Sure, son.
Cora's not just my girlfriend. She's my wife. We eloped.
What on earth am I hearing, Ian?
Mom, Cora is my wife. And there's more. Cora is pregnant. We have decided to keep the baby.
You've got to be kidding me, Ian. This is unbelievable.
There's one more thing, Mom.
Seriously? What now? Did you bail on college to sling lattes and support the sudden family?
Well, the college part is true, but not the latte slinging. I did drop out, though.
You've turned your life upside down, son. Your sister and I worked hard just so you could do all this? What are people going to think? And what's Cora's deal? Cora, are your parents even aware of this?
Well, my folks are not exactly in the picture.
Not in the picture? Care to explain?
My dad is in prison, and my mom, she is, well, seeking mental help. I grew up in foster homes.
This is the woman you chose to marry, Ian? Someone who comes from a family of nutjobs and thieves? Ian, you can't possibly understand these kinds of women. They are like leeches, always looking for a way in. I bet she got pregnant on purpose, and to trap you.
Mom, you can't say that about her. She's an incredible person.
Ian, I do not care. I just don't want to see you throw your life away.
Mom, I know what we are signing up for. I love Cora.
Look at you. You used to be my perfect boy. What has this girl done to you? I'm still warning you, Ian.
Mom, this is what I wanted too. She did not brainwash me.
Son, I would have understood if she was someone special. Look at her. She is nobody. Her own parents abandoned her. Why would you want to bring a baby into this world with someone like that? People are going to talk behind your back, not to mention you've already ruined my image.
That is enough, Mom.
You are right. You are on your own now.
After the tense meeting with Ian's mother, Lillian, where her words had cut through me like a knife, I thought that was the end of our interactions. However, later that day, Ian's sister, Kinsley, called him. I could overhear Kinsley's stern and concerned tone. I could not make out the entire conversation, but it was clear that she was giving Ian a thorough lecture about his life choices. When Ian returned to the room, he seemed like he had been through the ringer. It was pretty clear she was concerned about Ian and the family's reputation. After that, radio silence from Kinsley and Lillian. We thought maybe they just needed time to process everything, so we just focused on getting ready for the baby. During the 5th or 6th months of my pregnancy, out of nowhere, Lillian called me. It had been a while since we last spoke, so I was not sure what to expect from the conversation.
Hey, Cora, it's Lillian. How are things?
Oh, hi, Lillian. I didn't expect to hear from you.
I've been thinking a lot, Cora, and I realized we got off on the wrong foot. I want to patch things up and get to know you better. Would you be open to that?
Well, Lillian, I appreciate the offer. Let us give it a try.
Thank you, Cora. That means a lot to me. How about I drive over to pick you up and we can have lunch at my place? I will even invite Kinsley so we can all talk things out.
I will text you our address. I mentioned the lunch invitation to Ian when he got back from work. He seemed surprised but told me it was entirely my decision. He wanted me to feel comfortable about it, so the next day Lillian came to pick me up. The car ride was a bit awkward, and when we arrived at their place, Kinsley was already there waiting. The lunch with Lillian and Kinsley turned out to be a real surprise. Despite the initial awkward vibes we got into a comfortable groove, talking about all sorts of stuff. Lillian's cooking skills were on full display, and we chatted about pregnancy, babies, and life in general. After we had stuffed ourselves, Lillian offered to give me a ride home, with Kinsley tagging along. It was a nice gesture, and I felt like they were trying to make me part of the family, which was sweet. When we got to our not-so-big apartment, I thought, why not invite them in? I wanted them to see where Ian and I were starting our new life. Our place was not huge or anything, but it had a cozy feel, and it was going to be our baby's first home. So Lillian and Kinsley came in, and I gave them the grand tour, talking about how we were getting ready for the baby. Can you please hand me my purse, Kinsley? I need to use the restroom.
Sure, Mom. Lillian headed off to the bathroom. It's a nice, cozy place you have here.
Yes, it may not be very spacious, but it serves its purpose for us right now. Hopefully we can find something bigger in the future.
Hey, isn't that the PS4 I gave Ian?
Yeah, it is. I suggested he sell it. He does not play games anymore, and our place is already quite small.
Seems like you are slowly pulling Ian away from us, aren't you?
What are you trying to say? Lillian got back to the room.
What's going on here? Mom, this girl, you were right. She has some ulterior motives. Kinsley, think before you speak. Mom, this girl, she is a vamp. Look at the things she's making Ian do, Mom. She is trying to erase all traces of us from his life. Let us just go. I have everything under control.
But Kinsley, she had this look like she would kill me. And let me tell you, she nearly did. She pushed me and my heart skipped about 100 beats. I fell on the floor. The cramps felt like a sledgehammer to the gut. Kinsley and Lillian's reactions were perhaps the most shocking part of it all. As I cried out in pain and fear, their faces paled, and they fled the scene like guilty culprits. There was no concern, no care for my well-being or the safety of my baby. After a frantic 911 call, the paramedics swooped in, and Ian met me at the hospital. He looked like a mix of worry and anger, holding my hand like it was a lifeline. I told him the whole crazy story, and we both knew things had hit a new low with his family. Later that night, back in our cozy little apartment, I found Ian sitting at his laptop, staring at the screen. I could not just leave him hanging, so I asked him what was eating at him. "What's up, honey? You have been staring at that screen for 15 minutes now."
Cora, what went down today? It's just wrong. I can't believe my family would put you and our baby in that kind of danger.
I am with you on that, Ian, but we can't control their actions.
I should have seen it coming. Should have protected you better.
Ian, you do not need to apologize. You were not the one who pushed me, and you were not the one who ran away when things got scary. You were there for me, and that means more than anything.
No, baby, I do need to apologize. I need to protect you and our baby. Even if it's from my mother and my sister, what they did was assault, and it's not something I can just brush off. I'm going to file an online police report.
Ian, are you sure about this? It is your family.
Cora, family or not, what they did was unacceptable. I would not let anyone hurt you or our child and get away with it. They need to face the consequences of their actions, and I want you to know that I have already talked to a lawyer. At least we can get a restraining order against them. It is the least we can do to ensure our safety and peace of mind.
I love you, Ian. I never imagined I would have someone who'd go to such lengths for me.
You do not have to imagine it, Cora. It is what we do for the people we love, and you and our baby mean everything to me.
After filing the police report, we settled into bed. The baby bump was growing steadily, making me feel exhausted most of the time. Despite my fatigue, I found it hard to sleep that night. Around 1 a.m., my phone suddenly started ringing. I hurriedly picked it up and stepped outside to answer, not wanting to disturb Ian's sleep. "You dumb little tramp."
Kinsley, are you drunk or something?
Maybe. Anyway, I called to give you a heads up. You might have survived that fall, but some jewelry seems to have vanished from my mom's house, and we have our suspicions.
What are you talking about?
Well, ever since you were at Mom's place, she can't find her jewelry. We are talking diamonds and pearls here, sis. I wonder who could have taken them.
Kinsley, I can't believe you're accusing me of stealing.
Sister-in-law, you might be raising that baby behind bars if Mom decides to file a report against you. And if the police dig into your background, well. But I did not steal anything. Well, you might want to check your closet just in case. Mom's heading to the police tomorrow, and I will be right there with her. You will be gone for good, and our brother will be in safe hands.
This is unbelievable. You act all nice just to get an invitation to my place, and now you're doing this? I've had enough of you. Oh, and by the way, here's a little heads up for you too. Your little scheme is about to unravel. Ian filed a report against you.
What? That's absurd. Ian would never do that to us.
Don't believe me? Check your email.
I hung up on Kinsley, and I was in full-on revenge mode. I could not believe they were stooping so low, planting evidence in my house against me. I was so glad Ian filed that report. I got on the laptop and emailed Kinsley a copy of the report, and 5 minutes later, she called me back. What? Ian reported us for assault? Yes, Kinsley, you read that right. You pushed a pregnant woman, your brother's wife, causing her to fall. I don't know if you realize how serious that is. Cora, it was just a little push. You are blowing it out of proportion. A little push? Kinsley, I was pregnant. I thought I was going to die, and you two ran away without even calling for help. You could have seriously harmed my baby. Do you even comprehend the consequences of your actions? You were just trying to scare you away, that's all. You've been playing mind games, framing me for theft, threatening me, and now you expect me to take your actions lightly? We also have medical records that can be put to use, Kinsley. You and your mom have crossed the line, and we're taking action. It might be a good idea for you to talk to your mom and consult with a lawyer. Planting fake evidence is another crime you both have committed in the eyes of the law. Good luck with that. I never should have gone along with my mom's plan. Can you help me fix this? I don't want to go to jail, and I don't want my mom to either. Is there anything you can do to make you forgive us? Oh no, Kinsley. This is beyond talking it out. Goodbye. As I sit here observing our daughter Betty dive into her birthday cake, I am flooded with reflections on the journey that brought us to this moment. She turned 1 year old today. A little over a year ago, things took a chaotic turn when Kinsey and Lillian concocted a scheme that almost rocked our world. But we did not break under pressure. Instead, with Ian by my side, we stood our ground. We filed a police report and delivered a resounding message. Enough is enough. The court slapped a restraining order on them, which was a massive relief. We could finally breathe without the fear of their meddling and drama. Time rolled on and along came Betty, our little princess. She has been the brightest star in our lives. A reminder of the love that is stronger than anyone else. Ian, the genius that he is, scored a well-deserved promotion at work, securing our financial future. We bought ourselves a new house, a place that's worlds away from the cramped apartment we used to call home. Life was a whole different ballgame for me. No parents, no real direction. It was a lonely and uncertain time. Today, as I gaze upon Ian and our laughter-filled Betty, my heart swells with gratitude. Life is never a smooth ride, but it's those bumpy stretches that create the most remarkable stories.